All right, it's Oscar time. Should I warm us up with some Oscar facts before we get into the Oscars of this year?
Yeah, let's get it nice and wet before we...
Yeah. All right, universe, we're going to give you a little foreplay.
A little tickle.
Yeah, a little farmer blow on there before I jam it in. All right. Oscar facts. How about this? Jeff, you want some Oscar facts?
Absolutely.
All right. Meh, no, I'm actually going to the firmatorium now. I can't get it out of my head that I brought it up.
Well, you guys are out of beer, so bye.
Oh, we got more beer. Yeah, that firmatorium beer. All right.
Got a good bush latte here, I think.
The winners of the very first Academy Awards, which took place on May 16th, 1929, and honored films released from 1927 and 1928, were announced 3 months before the ceremony.
Nice. Give everyone a chance to see it.
Well, then what's the...
back then, they didn't release movies like they do now all at once nationwide. Prince would literally travel the country. It wasn't until, like, Jaws in the 70s, and that's when the term blockbuster really starts to be used.
Okay.
So before Jaws and even Star Wars, movies just sort of meandered around almost like a live play performance. Just the print would just go from town to town being played.
Wow. See, this is why we're an entertainment show. We got this guy.
Wealth of now.
All right.
Should be Mark and Tom.
Wealth of useless knowledge.
Oh, you're switching the billing. Yeah, but then you'd have to get a new coffee mug.
I already made the mug.
You already made the coffee mug, man. That's set in mug.
We'll just get a Sharpie and just do an arrow here and an arrow there.
At the 4th Academy Awards, Norma Shearer found herself the announcer of the Best Actress category. She was also nominated. She was the Best Actress category, which she was also nominated in.
What was she?
She... I don't know.
Actrix.
Actrix?
Actress.
It's not a dominatrix. That's all Tom can think of is leather.
No, I'm all frazzled now, guys. Way to throw me off my game. All right. Shearer lost to Marie Dressler, star of MGM's Min and Bill. So the situation didn't get awkward, but after that, actors and actresses weren't presenters for the categories they were also nominated in. Yeah, wouldn't that just make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a total.
This Oscar
is. Oh, look me! Yeah.
All right.
Because even now they have the previous year's best actor announces the next year's best actress.
Yeah.
So they cross it over and they.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a year staggered, so it's not like Daniel Day-Lewis is like, oh, the Oscar goes to not me.
Okay. The first tie occurred at the 5th Academy Awards ceremony when Wallace Beery, the champ, and Frederick March, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
So the way the Oscars are picked is they send ballots out to all
I'm
these...
in the fucking middle of a sentence,
Hollywood
bigwigs.
How is there a tie?
Punctuation.
How is there a tie?
How do you
At least let me get to a pause.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
It's like American Idol. There's a tie perfectly. There's all 5,082 on this side, 5,082 on that side. You guys got to share it.
I think we should battle royale with a fucking tie.
All right.
How do you settle a tie?
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Finish.
Welcome to Mark and Tom Off the Rails. I was finishing everything.
We're over here on Jeff and Mark Off the Rails.
Jeff and Mark and Molly. This is called Jeff and Mark and Molly. Fuck Tom in the butt. Off the rails. All right. They both won for Best Actor, period. That would have been a great time to interrupt. Technically, Beery had lost by 1 vote, but according to the rules at the time, that counted as a tie.
So the Oscars don't know how to count.
I don't count.
They don't math well.
No,
just like Jeff.
I don't math well. I went to the same high school.
All right.
Wait, can you ever, when we get done or something, Google how do you settle a tie if there is one?
I would just find another person.
Just random poll.
Well, it's like in Congress or whatever. If there's a 50 on this side, 50 on that side, the vice president picks.
You see,
so find someone who hasn't picked yet and make
I
them
seriously
pick.
think it should turn into something like Bloodsport.
I was just going to say it's a fight to the death.
Right. It's a duel.
Thunderdome.
Right.
2 movies until 1 movie leaves.
All right.
Either that or settle it with a good game of thumb wrestling.
Well, then they could broadcast the fight like at the Oscars to see who won. Be awesome.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Lizard Spock.
Best of 3.
All right. For its first 6 ceremonies, the Academy was celebrating films released in the previous 2 years. Starting with the 7th Academy Awards in 1935, the nominated selections in the ceremony were in accordance with the calendar year. So is this... now I got a question. Is Black Panther up for awards this year or no?
I'm not sure when the cutoff is, but I would wager it will be on next year's.
Wasn't it released in 2018?
Yeah, it just came out like a week or two
So
ago.
if it's
Okay.
released in 2018, it'll be next
think,
year.
Okay.
yeah. Again, I know math well.
All right. The 1938 Academy Awards was postponed due to rain and flooding. The ceremony was rescheduled for a week later, and almost no one could make it. Even the chosen host, George Jessel, wasn't there. He was sick. A comic named Bob Bazooka Burns hosted instead. All right, so
Go team. There was one year when I decided to look up all of the movies that won Best Picture and see, like, which ones, maybe I should watch some of these, you know, I should be all artsy and cool. What won in, like, 1932 or whatever? And, yeah, they're, like, movies I've never heard of.
I'd rather punch myself in the face.
Most of these movies don't stand the test of time.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
so the ones that the Bazooka hosted
Yeah.
are not. Tell you what, Dial, you get me Bazooka. Just like in war or movies. Bazooka gets the job done.
I've yet to meet a problem Bazooka can't solve.
I wanted Bazooka in the first place. Now look where we're at. Now we gotta beg the Bazooka to come.
I wanted Jessel, I got Bazooka.
All right. Until 1940, the Oscar winners' names were given to the press ahead of the ceremony, with the understanding that the press would hold the names until 11 p.m. But that year, the Los Angeles Times broke the embargo, and published the names in time for the evening edition.
We'll hold it.
Yeah, sure. No, I promise, Pinky
Oh,
swear.
we're holding it so hard.
It hit stands before the ceremony even started. I told you we couldn't trust. Get me Bazooka again. No, not Bob Bazooka. Get me a fucking Bazooka. The Academy began sealing the envelopes containing the winners' names the next year. This is all trial and error. Nobody preemptive thought of a good idea. Maybe we shouldn't tell them. Maybe we should.
It'll ruin the drama if I know I already lost. Fuck, I'm not even going if I'm not even running.
Maybe we shouldn't have the person nominated have the winner. In 1941, FDR became the first president to address the Academy Awards ceremony. He spoke mostly about World War II. Oh, he's just droning on
There
again.
he goes again.
Motherfucker. That's all he ever talks about these days.
Hitler this, Hitler that.
Which
Some things never change.
United States wouldn't officially enter until December. Quote, I do not minimize the importance of the motion picture industry as the most popular medium of mass entertainment, he said, but tonight I want to place the chief emphasis on the services that you can render in promoting solidarity among all peoples of the Americas. For all of this and for your splendid cooperation with all who are directing an expansion of our defense forces, I am glad to thank you.
Good thing he didn't leak that we were going to join World War II to the press.
Didn't leak D-Day.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
Hey, LA Times, we're going to enter the war. Just don't tell anybody.
And don't break this embargo. All right. Greer Greeson gave the longest acceptance speech during the 15th. It was nearly 6 minutes long. So they didn't put a timer on it again. Trial and error, these guys. Now they play the music. Maybe we should not let these guys just fucking talk.
One of those big canes that
Yeah,
come
the old
off
vaudeville hook.
Yeah, pull them off the stage.
That'd be awesome.
Or someone just start throwing tomatoes at them, telling them shut the fuck up.
It always pisses me off
I
when
think that'd
two
be
guys
great.
win an award for something, and the one guy talks and goes on too long, and the second guy doesn't even get to chime in because the music starts. Like, screw you, guy who wouldn't shut up.
Just comes and goes,
Take that Oscar away.
thanks.
Yeah, thanks, ma. And the music's already so loud you can't hear him say ma.
Yep. Because of the war, winners in the 1943 ceremony took home plaster-filled trophies. They were replaced with regular metal-filled trophy model in 1946 because the Germans didn't kill us.
I bet those plaster trophies would be worth a lot of money right now, though.
Think?
Well, yeah, they were only made for one run. It's
There you
the
go.
things that are
Limited.
small numbers and easily breakable, and yeah.
We should look one up on eBay.
It's like why old movie posters are so expensive because they don't last. People didn't take care of them back then, thinking, it's a poster. No, it doesn't
Right there,
fucking
Jeff.
matter.
You see that whole crates of movie
Those
posters?
aren't worth shit. Those are just, I used to work at a big theater. I got free posters of whatever came out, and I was a manager, so I got first dibs. Assistant manager.
Yeah.
So I grabbed all the cool posters and be like, fuck you, I'm getting these posters. Now they just sit in my attic and then I'm doing anything with
We
them.
should hang them
But
here.
still, some of them are probably worth some money.
The really cool ones I can't get my hands on. Like when they re-released Alien, there were a limited edition numbered posters that came out. My theater didn't get one. The theater down the road that my brother worked at got one. and they had to lock it up so no one would steal it. He actually took it home and kept it. My brother took it home, kept it at his house, and brought it back to put it in the case because he was afraid one of the ushers was going to steal it.
Oh.
Because that one probably is worth money.
Okay.
I have a crappy unnumbered version of it, though.
Just write a number on it.
Looks
call it
the
a day.
same. Yeah, just write 3.
This is third.
Three's a number?
3.5.
Pi.
At the 1944 Academy Awards, winners in the supporting categories took home a full-size statuette for the first time. Before that, they had been awarding a smaller plaque-mounted version.
So they got a 6-foot-tall gold
I'm
man?
guessing Robin Williams
Sweet.
in that what movie? Bicentennial Man came home with you. This guy's just fucking irritating.
Well, I was thinking
Squeaking.
like the T-1000 from Terminator 2, personally.
Old
I think if I
T-1000.
won a life-size
Gotta keep
Oscar, I'd
boiling
put it
him.
at the end of my driveway. Kind of like the little jockey holding
Sure,
the fucking
have
lamp.
him holding your mailbox.
Right. Is that an Oscar? Yeah, I won that. It's cool.
Won
Right.
that in 1944.
You like that? It's nice.
The first foreign film to win Best Picture was Hamlet in 1949.
Foreign flicks, Mr. Connery.
The Academy Awards were shown on TV for the first time. What year?
I'm going to say 60s.
I'm gonna say
63.
62.
3? 2.
Molly? 1953 on NBC, March 19th.
Ah, I was 10 years off.
I like playing games with you guys.
It's better than playing with yourself, I'm sure.
No, it's not. False.
You
are
can't tease
wrong,
in
sir.
denial by yourself.
In 1969, Academy rules stated that members couldn't place an Oscar vote until 2 years after they'd released their first film. Academy President
Well, you can't just have
Gregory
any old
Peck broke
jerk
this
show
rule.
up with a movie and be like, I want to vote. No, guy.
Gregory Peck broke this rule for Barbra Streisand, who made her screen debut in Funny Girl in 1968 and was allowed to vote in the 41st Annual Academy Awards before she'd even appeared in a movie. She was nominated for Best Actress for Funny Girl. Assuming she voted for herself, created the first exact acting tie winners in Academy history. Streisand and Katharine Hepburn received 30 votes each.
Battle Royale.
And she cheated by voting for herself when she couldn't vote.
At the April. That is a Jewy ass move, isn't it?
She stole
Not
that
even
from
allowed
Audrey
to vote.
Hepburn,
Yep.
The great Audrey Hepburn.
At the April 14th, 1969 ceremony, Streisand almost tripped on her way up to the podium to accept. Hepburn didn't attend.
Maybe she knew.
Yeah,
Maybe she got the paper.
it's totally fixed. Well, I can vote. We'll break the rule for me, so I can win. Ooh, that's...
Well, you said before, even if it's off by 1, it's still a tie. So
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't know.
Sorry, Barbara, I'm not counting that one for you. I'm putting an asterisk.
Ooh.
I'm going to just come with a big fucking cowl, like brand asterisk right on his chest.
You and Barry Bonds have an asterisk.
Yep.
Barbara Streisand is a woman.
All right. In 1977,
Fix that
Italian
editing.
Lena Wertmuller doesn't sound Italian to me, was the first female filmmaker nominated for Best Director for her film Seven Beauties. The first American woman to be nominated was Sofia Coppola for 2003's Lost in Translation, which sucked dick.
Yeah, I would agree that movie was overrated.
Oh my god, it was horrible. A woman who wouldn't win this trophy until Catherine Bigelow won for The Hurt Locker in 2010.
That was a great movie. I loved Hurt Locker.
Bam Bam Bigelow's wife.
Everyone has been married to everyone else in Hollywood. They've all been married a dozen times.
Yeah, but I liked Avatar better than Hurt Locker.
No, Avatar, the most overrated movie in my life.
How many overrated you just said Lost in Translation was?
Avatar was way more overrated than Lost in Translation.
I can watch Avatar.
That it is a derivative story. The only thing cool about it was new special effects.
Bullshit. Avatar was awesome. Man.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it wasn't best picture quality.
Neither was Lost in Translation, dude.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
That was horrible. You see it, Jeff?
What?
Lost in Translation?
No. I saw
wait.
clips of it and I just looked at it and I was
No,
like,
Jeff,
fuck
it was the
this.
greatest movie I've ever seen. Go
Shut
home.
up. I am not going home
Right
and watch
now.
it.
and
You
watch
think
it.
Avatar was
No.
awesome?
You
You
fuckers-
gotta see Lost in
You
Translation.
fuckers got me to watch Turbo Kid.
You volunteered to
It was
watch
good
Turbo Kid.
enough. I enjoyed Turbo Kid enough.
Turbo Kid.
Turbo Kid would beat out Lost in Translation for Best Picture.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
No actor has been nominated for more Academy Awards than Mark,
Samuel L. Jackson.
Jeff,
Wait, what?
Molly,
Actor who got the most noms.
Morgan Freeman.
Meryl Streep. You dorks.
Oh,
You
that's
said
right.
actor.
I thought you said actor. I thought we were talking about a man.
Actress.
Meryl Streep
it
has been-
says no actor has been nominated for more Academy Awards than Meryl Streep.
I was thinking
Meryl
men. I would have
Streep's a-
said
Yes,
Meryl Streep.
that's
So
why
Meryl
I went
Streep
man.
is a dude, Mark. God.
No, you said Barbara Streisand.
Oh, whatever.
But she's
Barbara
only won like
Streisand
once.
is Meryl Streep and is a dude.
And Randy Marsh.
Randy Marsh. This year's supporting actress nod for her work as the witch in Into the Woods is her 19th.
Ooh, these are
so
one-year-old
far,
facts.
she's won 3. Oh man, she's got about my batting average.
6.
The actress was nominated in 1979 for The Deer Hunter and won her first Oscar the next year in the Best Supporting Actress category for Kramer vs. Kramer. Oh, that must have been a great Seinfeld episode. She reportedly left the Oscar in the bathroom after her win.
Well, she was shit hammered and forgot it.
How do you do that? Did she put it on the John and just forget it was there? Or
No, dude, she was so excited she set it upright in the toilet and
Oh
sat
my
down
God.
on it.
Okay.
like a German helmet?
like a Prussian helmet.
Jesus.
She's like, "Oh, that is
I can't take
soiled
it
up."
home. It's disgusting.
I
now.
know, half the paint's melted off.
Okay.
Who knew it was made of chocolate?
Jesus Christ. All that heat just melted it down.
Yep.
It does look like the T-1000 is coming back to life. Now. The most nominated person without a win. Oh, I don't even. Sound mixer Kevin O'Connell, who has been nominated 20 times.
Oh, poor guy. Always a
I think his
bridesmaid,
name
never a bride.
is just on the ballot. He doesn't. Dude, I retired 5 years ago. Why are you still nominating me? Because we just want to fuck you so hard.
Could it be David Smythe? That's the name that directors put on movies when they're embarrassed of it. They don't want their name on it.
David Smythe?
Yeah.
All right.
Because it was the movie Dune was directed by I forget his name. Some famous director. And he hated the final cut. The studio interfered, so he took Alan Smythe. That's what it is. So he took his name off and he put that name on.
Okay. All right.
You can look up Alan Smythe on IMDb, and he's got like 1,000.
Oh, I'm on
movies.
it already.
It's like Smithy, I think is how it's spelled.
Well, that's retarded.
Oh, this is kind of cool. Kate Blanchett was the first person to win an Oscar for playing an Oscar winner. She portrayed Kathleen Hepburn in 2004's The Avatar, or Aviator. Avatar!
Catherine Hepburn was in the Avatar.
I'm no so good at reading.
You and Jeff make a good team.
Right?
All
I
right.
don't math. I don't read.
All right. You know what? Fuck it. Mark, you take over the show for a bit. This
All
is we do movies with Mark. This is his wheelhouse. This is his day.
For you, Universe, I actually tried to watch every single movie up for Best Picture. As of right now, a week before the Oscars, I haven't finished one of them. I have to watch the second half later.
I don't think you do.
I'm a completist.
All right.
So we're going to go down the Best Picture, and I'm going to talk about each one for a few minutes and get everyone's opinion in the room about their excitement to see this movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So the movies nominated for Best Picture, starting at the top, is Call Me By Your Name. That's actually the one that I didn't finish. I know the least about it.
Oh, I'm worried about this movie.
It takes place in Italy, and it's about a grad student he moves in with his professor, and he basically falls in love with the professor's son.
Who's 17?
Who's 17. I looked it up. The age of consent in Italy, and let's go to the table. What
Sure.
do you think the age of consent in
I'm going
Italy
to say
is?
in Italy, probably 15.
Tom?
13.
Molly?
13.
It's 14.
I'm going to jail. Jeff Krieger's going to jail.
So as an American watching it, where the age of consent is 18, we thought it was weird. But it's another country. You can't be too judgmental.
Mm-hmm. That movie ooged me out. I'm just worried that's going to happen between me and you.
Well, it was.
If I walk up here and there's a bowl of peaches, I'm gonna freak out.
They had some awkward touches, but you didn't really get a sense of like a real romance developing.
Watch the movie and you'll get that reference.
And then out of nowhere, they have like a really hard conversation about their love, and I'm like, where did this come from? So I didn't finish it. I'm gonna give it a real shot. I'm gonna try to watch it. I was watching with my wife, and she's like, let's skip this one, and I'm like, I gotta watch all of them.
I just don't want to break up your family, man.
So yeah. So I couldn't get into it. I'm gonna try and watch it again later. It's not my favorite to win. Next one, Darkest Hour, which was about Winston Churchill in World War II. Mm-hmm. Gary Oldman is the lead character. He did a great job. It is an awesome
He did look
movie.
like him.
Gary Oldman's a great actor.
It's funny because like he played Sid Vicious, and now he's played Winston Churchill. Those are like the two most opposite characters I can imagine.
That's range, baby.
And Commissioner Gordon right in the middle.
Yep. Range, baby.
So, I mean, it's a great movie about the history of what was going on, because he was brought in to be the prime minister once everything had already gone to hell. The Nazis were in France when he was made prime minister. So it's like, oh, here's this pile of shit. You sort it out.
Yeah.
So it's about the crap he had to put up with. In Britain, they have all minority parties. There is no one party that runs the show. They have to build coalitions and shit. So he's trying to get all these people on board to just do things and sort things out. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to win Best Picture, though.
All right.
So.
Well, same category. Let's go Dunkirk, right?
Yeah, let's go. Well, Darkest Hour features heavily with the events of the Battle of Dunkirk. So
Boom.
we have 2 movies about that. And then we have Dunkirk itself. Do you guys, anyone here see it?
No. I know Tom Hardy's in it, isn't he?
Yes.
It's about people trying to get out of there, and then civilians come to the rescue.
Yes, basically. Yes. So the history of it was, the British and French soldiers they're retreating, and they get stuck on this beach, the last bit of land in the continent, and they're surrounded by Germans. And the Germans are like, well, we're just going to have the airplanes finish them off, because why risk killing our soldiers or whatnot? Mm-hmm. And actually, we learned in Darkest Hour that there was a maneuver done by another unit of British soldiers who, like 30,000 guys, basically died as a big distraction maneuver to save the 300,000 men at Dunkirk. And Dunkirk does not talk about that in it as a movie, which really let me down.
They talk about it in Darkest Hour, though, don't they?
Yes, they do. Because he even brings over his secretary, who's like, why are you sending these men to their death? And he's like, come here. I'm doing it to move this to save these people, so these men must die to save these people. Kill one to save 100.
Right.
Ooh.
Yes. So Dunkirk, I was a little disappointed with the movie. I love the director, Christopher Nolan. This is probably my least favorite movie he's made. There's 3 or kind of 4 basic story threads. You have Tom Hardy, who's a fighter pilot flying around, shooting down Germans, saving the day. You've got the civilians in their boats racing to the beach to rescue everyone. And then you've got the guys on the beach focusing mainly on a couple of these individual soldiers. And then also Admiral Kenneth Branagh is there doing something. And Tom Hardy, his character, he's a hero. He's there, he's shooting down Germans. He basically sacrifices himself to save the day and be an awesome guy. You have the Admiral, who is super awesome. He stays behind. All the Brits leave, and he stays behind to help get French out. So he's a hero. You have the civilians on the boat going to rescue everyone risking their life and limb and their property to save these guys. They're heroes. And the soldiers that we focus on the beach are a bunch of fucking deserters. The ones that we focus on are 2 in particular, who are they leave their unit, they abandon it, they try to get into a boat, they try to sneak off onto this other boat, it sinks, everything they do goes wrong, they make all horrible decisions. And when this movie played at my theater, and a handful of people every night would walk out of this movie, and I think they were a lot of veterans or hardcore history people who seeing these deserters cowardly running away and then ultimately surviving must have been infuriating. So,
hey, Jeff.
Just pissed. What?
Maybe we should have watched more than just the extended preview.
So, it's a great movie. Tom Hardy is awesome.
I figured Mark was going to fill in.
Mark's got this.
Yep.
There's
control.
another part of the movie
watch the trailers and read the synopsis, the cliff notes. I'm fucking good.
One part that I think confused a lot of my older customers is the movie is not told chronologically, because the story of the people on the beach takes about 2 days. The story of the guys on the boats takes about a day, and Tom Hardy in the plane lasts a tank of gas, so an hour or 2, and we meet him first. So there's jump cuts where it's daytime on the boats, and they're going towards Dunkirk, and then it's cuts to the soldiers on the beach at night, even though it was just day on the boat. So it's told for the sake of drama, but halfway through the movie you realize, oh, these things are not happening simultaneously. This has been rearranged.
Okay.
Because you see a character, one of the planes goes down, and you think, crap, well, that guy's dead. And then later we see, oh no, he actually gets rescued, and we get to see him get rescued by the boat with the civilians in it. So it was there to serve the drama, but it confused some of the older people, and older people love movies like this.
Kind of like a Pulp Fiction style.
All right,
yeah,
let's hear
not
about
like that. All right, so Tom's saying, move along, move along.
Get out. Let's get out. This
out.
movie. Every black man's fear.
Who saw Get Out?
I saw the extended preview. Of
Get Out was great.
I read this.
You loved it?
I love it.
Okay.
I highly recommend it. Jordan Peele directed it. We all love him here. I think we're all big Jordan Peele fans.
Yes.
It was basically... I suppose I should go into depth. I just went into depth on Dunkirk.
A little bit.
Yeah. Basically, he goes to meet
It's a black man who's married to a white woman and
dating. So he goes to meet the parents. It's, guess who's coming to dinner? And he meets a couple of black people who live there and work there, and they're all really weird, and it's off-putting and awkward, and he can't figure out why aren't they. He goes to do the cool young person handshake stuff, and the guy has no idea what he's doing. To another black character, do the cool young person handshake, and he totally muffles through it like he's an old white man. And later in the movie, should I fuck it, spoil it? Spoilers! It turns out that they are like removing parts of the father of the girlfriend is a neuroscientist and his wife is a psychologist or something. And it turns out that they have been like hypnotizing black people and basically like taking out a chunk of an old white person's brain and putting it in the black person's body so that they take over their body. So the black characters we meet are in fact old white people in the bodies of young black people. So that's the horror aspect. Our character gets caught up in this. They drug him. They take him into the basement. They're going to do this to him. Oh my God. It's actually really good.
Okay.
Some of the best parts about it is it's not too bloody. So if you don't like all the gore porn, there is some violence in here. It's mostly off screen. It's more proper drama and build up and just the terrifying idea of
very good
of being conscious while someone else is in charge of your body.
Okay.
However, I don't think it's going to win Best Picture.
Okay.
Because the Academy does not respect the horror genre.
Yep.
You rarely see horror movies nominated. Last one we were talking about was The Sixth Sense, and that's not really even a horror movie, and that was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I think there've only been like 4 or 5 horror movies nominated for Best Picture ever.
All right.
It's kind of like comedy. The artsy fartsy crowd that is the Academy doesn't really hold. Yeah. There's no best comedy category here. No. There's no best horror category here. Oh, I'm being told to keep moving, Mark. Keep moving. So Get Out is a great film. I love it. Everyone should see it. It's not going to win because it's a horror film.
Don't worry, you'll make up time on this next one.
Yeah. Lady Bird.
This is my best. I picked this one.
Fucking skip
because I have a bird and her name is Lady.
That's why you picked it?
Hell yeah.
So Lady Bird is about a crazy teenage girl.
Oh, she must be good.
She hates her mom. She hates her town. She sells out her best friend for the cool girl. That blows up in her face. She dates 2 guys. Both relationships go terribly. One of the guys is an anarchist douchebag who lies to her about he claims he's a virgin and he's not. Let's just put it that way.
It's one of the oldest lies ever.
Yeah. So and of course she's at the risk of sounding like a sexist. Is it just me or are all high school girls nuts?
No, I think just
this
all
chick
women in
looks
general.
like
it's Saoirse Ronan.
She's the typical high school girl.
With all due respect. Sorry, I forgot to lead with that.
I think Molly would even agree.
You know what this
chicks
is?
Are nuts.
I got it perfect. Their town doesn't have a hot topic, or she would be all goth.
She's got the dyed hair.
Yes, dyed hair. They just don't have a hot topic there. That's it.
So it's a mother-daughter movie. The whole thing revolves around their relationship, and there wasn't anything for me to sink my teeth into. And plus, I was describing it to Susan, and she says, "Oh, I've seen that movie a dozen times. This is not a new story. This is a tale as old as time." Yeah, rebellious teen makes a bunch of horrible teenager mistakes, and eventually, by the end of the movie, comes around, appreciates what her family's done for her, and makes her mother cry in a good way, a happy cry. So it's just like,
not
bored.
the I'm pregnant and 16 cry.
Yeah. So not going to win Best Picture. So that was Lady Bird. I don't think it's going to be Best Picture.
Oh, it is.
I got bored with it.
Dude, you could chisel this in the fucking Rock of Gibraltar, man. Lady Bird is winning.
I hope.
Phantom Thread. I loved Phantom Thread. I knew nothing about it before I saw it. I had no expectations other than it's Daniel Day-Lewis and he makes dresses.
It's some creepy guy leaving fucking clues in dresses, isn't it?
Yes and no. Okay, so at the beginning of the movie, he picks up this random
Disney
girl.
People drawing dicks in their Disney.
He doesn't
movies.
really do that.
I'm just saying.
He has an opening conversation. He picks up this random waitress, and she ends up moving in with him. And the movie's about their romance. But on their first date, he basically says, "I have a lock of my mother's hair sewn into my coat," which to me is the kind of thing you would say on a first date.
Norman Bates.
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
Mr.
Not
Norman
creepy.
Bates? What's up?
Because he says, "Oh,
Wow.
do you look like your mother? She must have been beautiful." You know, just kind of weird, off-putting things. But the more you get to know the character, he's a little weird. He's a little not like
Eccentric.
creepy, but just like he's awkward, and he's
Anybody who wears their hair like that slick back
Yeah.
Eddie Munster hair.
a bit of a diva. His sister is like his manager, so she's like doing all the hard, like back office type work, and he's just designing. So she facilitates his work by doing all the heavy lifting. So he's super difficult to be around. So this romance that I loved watching, I could watch those two bicker and snipe at each other for hours. This movie was 2 hours and it flew
It was
by.
Alan Peg Bundy.
Yeah. Lady Bird was the shortest movie on the list, and I thought it felt the longest. Phantom Thread was 2 hours.
I'm
and
telling
I thought
you
it
what
flew
the
by.
Academy is going to pick.
Oh, I know what
Not
the
what-
Academy is going to pick.
What's that?
Oh, we'll get to it. We haven't gotten to that movie yet.
Oh!
My favorite, if I was picking the movies, I would give it to Phantom Thread.
Whoa!
But that's not my
The
official
mother
pick.
hair dressmaker.
That's not my official pick because I'm going to play the politics of it, and I'm going to pick the movie I think the Academy is going to pick.
Uh-oh. All right.
Next up is The Post, which is about a newspaper in the 70s. There was a scandal when there was a report done by the government about the Vietnam War, an internal report that basically said this was a disaster, we shouldn't do it, and we should get out now, and all that stuff. And it gets leaked, and it's about the newspaper deciding should we print, because another newspaper talked about it, and they got censured and shut down by the government.
I think it was the New York Times and the
Yes.
Washington Post.
Washington Post is the main one, and the New
main
York
one.
Times is the one that gets shut down. So they decide to print anyway, knowing they'll probably get censored.
Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep
Yep.
in that one.
It's got a lot of great character actors I love. David Cross and Bob Odenkirk are in there. Big fan of them. You recognize a lot of comedic actors actually were in this. But I think comedic actors know drama because comedy is drama, is knowing when to play it straight and when to to really heighten a scene or heighten a joke. The Post was great. If you love those kind of newsroom movies where it's breaking the big story, it's getting the lead, it's research, it's journalism at its best. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's going to win Best Picture.
All right.
The Shape of Water was directed by Guillermo del Toro. I'm a big fan of his. He directed the Hellboy movies.
Which I think this is a prequel to Hellboy.
It's visually very
Oh
similar.
my God, Jeff, you just
Right? Mind fucking
blew
blown.
my mind.
Yep, this movie features what I basically call Creature from the Black Lagoon. But yeah, you could
Or
be Abe
Sapien.
Sapien from Hellboy. It's played by the same actor, Doug Jones. But
Same guy too?
He did so well. Let's make a prequel.
Well, the creature doesn't talk in the movie.
Yeah.
And our main character is a mute. She can hear, but she can't talk.
Mhm.
And she is the janitor at the science research facility where they're studying this creature for NASA, for astronauts or something. It takes place in the 60s.
She used to be a curler, so that's why they gave her a broom.
Yeah. So,
It's gotta throw that
so
back
she's
in there.
awkward. She has no one in her life. She ends up falling in love with this creature. And yes, they do.
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Multiple times. We never get to see it.
Multiple.
We never get to see it. But
Does he have a schmingus?
they talk about it.
A schmeckle?
She describes it to her fellow janitorial lady, but we never get to see it
But
on camera.
how does
How she describe it? Like suction cups?
She just
or
because
what?
we see the creature full frontal
It's
and
got
there's
gills.
nothing there, and then she describes his body opening up and it coming out. But I read an article.
Jeff just punches.
Doug Jones, the actor, said he's been asked by people on Twitter where they can get a Fishman dildo.
Oh, Jesus.
Whoa.
Someone
thing.
made
That's a
one,
thing.
and he and Guillermo del Toro kind of chimed in saying, "This is great fan art, but that's not what it looks like."
Yeah, but fish just like They lay eggs and then they jizz on top of them.
Yeah, but is he a fish?
What if that
is he
chick,
a mammal? He can breathe air and water. That's why they're studying
Amphibian.
him. They're studying his respiratory system to help astronauts in space, is what they basically say. Michael Shannon is the bad guy, General Zod. If you're not a fan of the new Zod. So, yeah, he does a great job in it. I think his character made some.
How fast does it come out? Could you?
We never get to see.
Like if somebody's choking you, could you come out and just
the
punch
camera
him?
is all like it's off camera.
What the shit?
It's off camera. But we see like the top halves of their bodies. Or whatever.
The porn industry
They're
already
doing
has
it.
this in.
There's Avatar porn, sir.
Yeah, yeah. This is already going.
So it's a really cool looking movie. It's a great director. I love the look. The Fishman looks great. The special effects are awesome.
I would love to see the prequel to Hellboy win, but I don't think it's going to.
About halfway through the movie, they have a big heist where they break him out of the facility, and then it's about the facility hunting him down and finding him.
Is it World War II or
Cold War? Cold War, because there's also a Russian spy who...
Shocking.
Yeah. Well, he's a fun character because he values the life of the creature, and his bosses say, you need to kill it so the Americans can't learn anything from it. If we can't get it, you kill it. No one can have it. And he ends up aiding her in breaking it out.
Typical Russian.
It's my ball. I'm going home. If he's taking that ball home, you pop it.
Yeah, exactly.
If I can't play with it, nobody can.
It's a really fun movie. I really enjoyed it. I would just have to add that primer in. There's going to be a lady fuck a fish. So if
sold,
I have friends who saw it who are older grandparents type, and they didn't know what they were getting into, and that just took them out of it. So you have to know what you're getting into. You have to be cool with that. And if you are, it's a great movie.
Wasn't expecting this broad to bang a flounder.
Yeah.
So. Could you imagine how cool that would be, having a chick that can't talk?
Fuck you, Tom.
Well, to be fair, the fish doesn't talk either.
Oh,
she teaches it some sign language, and they communicate physically.
Do you ever see someone
Is it the
physically?
The finger going through the thumb and index finger? And the fish is like, yeah.
I won't say.
Okay.
So then we get to the last movie on the list.
Whap.
All right. 3 billboards.
Does it have scales?
Ebbing, Missouri.
I got so many.
It sort of does.
Christ, Tom.
It's a really good special effect. It's got some lights on it. It's a beautiful costume.
All right.
It does not look like Abe Sapien, but it is conceptually very similar.
Maybe it's Abe Sapien's brother.
Could be. Well, Abe Sapien's story was he was just found somewhere in a tank. So yeah, it easily could be a sort of prequel thing.
Sure.
So,
but I think
maybe after he has sex, he turns from green to blue.
Could be. Loses some of his extra flippers.
Yeah.
They did some fucked up experiments on him, and it changed his.
Well, that's why he can
and
talk.
then he lost his memory.
He does have some.
That's why he can talk.
He does have some special powers that are revealed toward the end of the movie that Abe does not have. Abe has special powers, psychic stuff.
It was in the.
This creature has different special powers that I will not get into.
Okay.
For story spoilers.
All right. Sorry. So this is the winner.
I think 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri is going to win.
It looked cool.
Not only was it a great movie, it's well directed. So the plot. It picks up right off the bat. Frances McDormand plays a mother whose daughter was raped and murdered several months ago.
Yep.
And there's been no resolution in the case. She's pissed off. So she rents out these billboards and puts a big message. Why haven't you solved this? Sheriff Woody from Cheers, basically.
Yep.
He's great in this movie,
Woody
too.
Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson is the chief.
And she was in Fargo. That's where
she was in
everybody
Fargo. Yep.
Most knows her from.
So, and in the clip that I watched, she kicks some dude in the junk, and then some broad
teenagers.
Yeah. Just at a high school or something.
Yeah, she's dropping her kid off at high school. Someone throws a soda can or something at their windshield, and so she gets out. It's like, who threw that? Did you see who threw that? No. Bam! Right in the junk. Goes to the girl next to him. Did you see who threw that?
Right.
No. Bam! Right in the cooch. She goes to the next guy. Did you see who threw that? And he just runs away.
Yeah.
So basically, the way I kind of have to describe the movie.
That sold me. I was like,
balls or not? She's kicking chicks in her.
Yep.
Not balls.
Everyone lady balls.
Your ladies.
Everyone in the movie has an understandable kind of motivation. It is legitimately a cold case. The cops can't solve it. There's no leads.
Sam Rockwell's in there too.
Sam Rockwell plays I love Sam Rockwell. He is one of my favorite actors. The only reason I wanted to see this is because he was in it. Okay. I know he's not a big role, but is great. I highly recommend it if you like him. Yeah. his character has a huge story arc. He, I think, is the best part of the movie.
He's also for like a supporting role. Isn't
Yeah, and I think he should win. But yeah, so basically, if I want to sum up the movie real quick, everyone has kind of understandable motivations. The cops, it's a dead case, they can't solve it. Mother's super pissed, as you would be, and then everyone just escalates it, and everything gets out of control. You know, someone starts punching, someone brings a knife to the fist fight, someone brings a gun to the knife fight, someone brings a bazooka, and it just, yeah.
Bazooka
That's right. And things just get nuts and out of control. Everyone, by the end, you're just like, why would you do that? Why? No, stop. This is not helping. But it hits on a lot of modern issues right now because Sam Rockwell is the worst cop imaginable. He beats up... There's actually a really funny scene where Francis McDormand accuses him of torturing N-words. Mm-hmm. And he says, you can't say that. It's torturing people of color. So it's a brilliant movie. I love him in it. He's terrible at first, but everyone in the movie kind of goes through a story arc and ends off in a way better place than they started. And his is, I think, the most extreme because he is a terrible human being, and we see him do terrible things through the movie that we hate him for. And then he has a turnaround toward the end where people start forgiving him for these terrible things he's done. And he comes around, and he and Francis become friends, and it's a really good movie. I highly recommend it. I think it's going to win because it hits the modern issues of the day. Like I say, the Oscars is very political, very hot button issue. It's got police abuse in it. And it's well presented because by the end, you understand the cops. It was a cold case. There was nowhere to go. But yet there is some resolution. Okay. So it's got crappy cops. It's got a woman who the Me Too movement. A woman was abused and murdered, and her, in this case, gets progressed. It's got a lot of those hot button issues right now that are really big, and I think it's going to win Best Picture. It was a great movie, and it satisfies all of those, popular sentiments and important issues.
Seven Oscar nods.
Yeah, so wow. that's I think it was a great movie. I highly recommend it. It's not my favorite on the list. It's my second favorite, but I think it's going to win.
All right, so that is what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. We all filled out Oscar ballots, and Susan is getting a special...
She filled one out because she had to run. She couldn't be here for this, but I have her ballot right here. She's
given us a special reward or treat or gift or something. She's not telling us.
We're all going to make our official ballots, and then Susan and I are going to hold them. We're going to watch the Oscars like we do every year.
Yep.
And whoever is the most accurate, Susan's going to give a mystery prize.
Yep.
I have no idea what it is. She's nuts, though, so be careful. Could be.
It's a deep throat blowjob, Jeff.
From me.
From Mark. From Mark. Yeah. He doesn't stop until his beard touches balls.
I don't stop till we both get off.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God. All right.
So did you want to go through each category, or I just wanted to run down the Best Picture movies because I saw them for this very reason.
Well, let's do a couple of the major ones.
Sure.
Supporting...
From the top, we have actor in a leading role.
I don't vote for anyone that spells their name Timothy.
Well, he's a foreigner.
Yeah, still.
The movie's he's the young man from Call Me by Your Name.
That's a Key and Peele skit there.
Yeah.
I think he's Italian.
I don't see a Timothy.
It's the first name.
The first name, Timothy.
Oh, I'm looking below it.
The first name.
I don't see it. I don't see it. Oh, there it is.
I'm gonna. Up for Best Actor in a Leading Role is.
I voted for Timothy
Chalamet from Call Me by Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis from Phantom Thread, Danielle Kaluuya, the lead from Get Out, Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour, and Denzel, need I say more, for Roman J. Israel Esquire.
Daniel Kaluuya.
So who are you going to give it to, Tom?
Timothy.
I see Gary Oldman.
Molly, what do you think?
I'm going to vote for Daniel Day-Lewis.
I'm going to say Gary Oldman because Daniel Day-Lewis just won it, and the Oscars is also a lot of water cooler politics of... I gave it to you last time, so you're not getting it this time.
I don't vote who should win. I vote who the Academy is going to give the award to. That's why I'm going Timothy.
I think they're going to give it to Gary Oldman.
That's why I also agree.
All right.
Plus, I love Gary Oldman.
Actor in a supporting role.
We have Willem Dafoe in The Florida Project. We have good old Woody from Cheers from 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. Richard Jenkins from Shape of Water.
That's mine.
Richard, that must have been the Russian spy guy.
Dick Jenkins.
Yeah. Christopher Plummer from All the Money in the World, who replaced Kevin Spacey for obvious reasons.
Hold. You know what? Side rant.
Yes.
Why is Richard Dick?
Richard Rick Dick. Why is Jonathan Jack?
Okay.
Why is Bill William?
Okay. Hold on. What is why don't they abbreviate Connie?
Khan? Like
yeah,
like Wrath of Khan?
Yeah.
They do. Conrad. Isn't it? Connie's an abbreviation for Conrad?
No.
Or
Connie the woman's name?
oh, the woman's name? Again, I don't math well. Shit.
No, Connie's an abbreviation for something else.
Conrad? Oh, for a woman.
Yeah.
I have a cousin whose name is Connie.
Cordelia.
Constance.
Constance. There you go. Oh, yeah.
So why you can short up Connie for Constance?
Consty?
You know where I'm going. See you next
I
Tuesday.
do. The last actor up
So
for
why can we
supporting
call a
role.
guy a dick and not Constance?
There's someone who volunteers the Rivoli whose name is Dick, and he prefers to go by Dick, but I just can't call him that. I can't go, hey, what's up, Dick? You know, I can't
I would
say
do
it
that
without...
all the time.
What
Without
was
being
that,
straight.
Molly? Oh, you're fucking up. All right.
So,
Anyway.
and then also, yes, Sam Rockwell is up, and he is my pick. I love Sam Rockwell.
Also my pick.
He's good in everything he does, and no one appreciates him.
I'm going with Connie's husband, Richard Jenkins.
Go with old Jinky. How
Yeah.
about you, Molly?
I almost want to pick Willem Dafoe just because I like his name. But I'm
I
gonna
do
go-
love Willem Dafoe, but I didn't see the Florida Project, so
No.
I can't really comment on it.
well, and it's not in the best pictures.
Well, I've seen reviews
Okay,
for it,
I'm gonna pick him anyway.
and it's about
There
a
you go.
little girl who lives in a hotel in Florida, and he runs the hotel.
I'm gonna pick Willem. I'll just stick with that.
All right,
It's
I
more of
think
a
we can
motel.
do the actresses and then
Yeah,
that's
we'll
good enough.
do actress and supporting actress.
There we
and
go.
Then we'll stop there.
Actress in a leading role.
Sally Hawkins, the deaf lady from Shape of Water.
She fucked a fish, dude. That should be worth it.
She is method. She fucked that fish.
She fucked that fish. There was no stunt double or nothing.
Frances McDormand from 3 Billboards.
That's
That's
pick.
mine.
That was my pick.
Margot Robbie from I, Tonya. Saoirse Ronan from Lady Bird. And Meryl Streep in The Post.
Meryl Streep ain't getting it. She's just filler.
She's won it too much.
They just like nominating her and then not giving her anything.
I'm going with Frances McDormand.
I'm a little torn on this one. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
also
sure,
going with
we'll
Frances.
give it to Frances because she did do a
McDormand.
great
Oh,
job.
we are all across the board,
I
Frances.
thought maybe they would give it to Margot
She just
Robbie.
kicked a bunch of guys in the junk.
and
Ball
No,
buster.
it was a chicken a lady. No,
Oh.
a chicken to do a boy and then a girl, a high schooler
She's
boy
Well,
and then a high schooler.
She's
girl.
got my
All
vote.
right.
junk kicker.
All right, actress in a supporting role, Mary J.
I
Blige.
wonder what her foot smelled like
in
after
Mudbound.
that.
Allison Jenny from I, Tonya.
I did that one just because.
Leslie Manville from Phantom Thread. Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird. And Octavia Spencer in Shape of Water.
I did Mary J. Blige.
Of course you
Yeah,
would.
I think I'm going to go. I didn't see Mudbound, but I'm looking at the rest of them. And like I said, Lady Bird, meh. Octavia Spencer, she has enough Oscars. Leslie Manville, she was the romantic interest. Yeah, it could have been anybody. She didn't do such a great job. I think Daniel Day-Lewis stole that movie. Again, I didn't
like
see
every
I,
movie
Tonya,
he's
so
in.
I'm just going to go with Mary J. Blige because I think...
Allison Janney, come on. Chimone.
All right, so now on to sound mixing.
No. What do we got?
We're going to go deep technical Oscars.
Do you want to do any more? The only thing we actually could do is
Let's do
probably
directing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where my thumb is, dude. What are you, psychic over there? What are you, a
So
fish
we have,
monster?
Dunkirk.
Fucking a mute?
Christopher Nolan. We have Get Out with Jordan Peele. Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig. Phantom Thread by Paul Thomas Anderson. And Shape of Water by Guillermo del Toro.
I went with Guillermo del Toro, Shape of Water.
So I went with Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk.
Yeah, me too.
It's not his best movie.
Yeah.
But he's been passed over in the past.
I'm just looking.
The Oscars do that a lot. They screw over someone to give the Oscar to someone they screwed over last year.
Hey, buddy, we'll get you.
I'm just looking at the movie content and thinking.
Right.
I'm trying to think how they think.
Dude convinced a chick to fuck a fish monster. Guillermo del Toro.
You can't get off of that, man.
I can't.
I'm torn between Jordan Peele and Paul Thomas Anderson.
Well,
just because Jordan Peele, this is his first directorial debut.
so none.
I think they'll pass him over for that.
We'll get you next.
I was
time.
going
So I'm
to
going to
pick
go
Phantom
Phantom Thread.
All right.
I changed my mind.
Where we at? Do we got time for Ask Tom Anything, or should we save it for next week?
Mark didn't print off any Ask Tom Anythings.
What?
I guess we will save it for next week.
Mark's a lazy bastard.
Mark, you're not doing a website.
There's a lot of things I'm not doing.
Well, let's wrap it up for Tom and Jeff off the rails. Somebody just got fired after I used him for his Oscar ballot.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably not gonna print off anything either. So
All right, welcome to Tom off the rails, guys.
So Mark,
Yes, Jeff.
Mark and Jeff.
All right. Well,
I think Tom has something very special to say.
oh yeah, guys, we're getting a little big. First of all, let's thank Jeff fucking Krieger for coming back.
Not a problem.
You're always welcome. He's going to be bringing some more guests. You're going to get more of this guy. Get used to it.
I love the sound of my own voice.
Yeah, that's what I told Molly after we had sex. I didn't have fun. Get used to it.
Jeff's voice.
I didn't have a good time. Well, I'm Jeff Krieger, so that's why. Again, I'm just living on that joke. All right. We call yours reads. What should we call yours? I think mine are reads. All right. We're sponsored by Amazon.com. Everyone shops on Amazon, so why not do it while helping out your favorite podcast? Tom and Mark Off the Rails. Go to our site, click Amazon, and shop like normal. You can also try Amazon Music Unlimited free trial.
Great service, by the way. We use that here.
Yeah. I got Amazon. I'm on it.
Yep.
Kindle Unlimited. For those college students out there, you also get all Amazon has to offer.
Susan does that for all of her smut novels.
Yes.
She loves the Bodice Busters, so she can get all the crappy romance novels she wants. She loves it. She's in heaven. And no one knows what she's reading. So she doesn't have to have that book in public.
All right. You get 2-day shipping, and it's free for 6 months if you're a college student. So just go to our page so we get a kickback and make it better. All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our newest sponsor, Audible, audible.com. Jeff, are you asking yourself, what is Audible?
Why, yes, I am.
It's only the world's largest producer of digital books. We aren't cavemen anymore. We don't need to turn pages. Jeff, we're done reading with our eyes. We're now reading with our ears.
I know
Listening is the new reading. Anytime, anywhere. Listen to your books wherever you go with the free app, at home, in the car, at the gym. Even if you switch devices, you'll never lose your place. Biggest selection ever. No one's got more listens than Audible. Don't like one? No question asked returns. Means exchanges are easy. Click on the Audible link on our website or go to our personal URL, www.audible.com/unipodcast. Here's what you get if you go there. Or you can just go to our page and click on the Audible site. You get 30 days free membership, 1 credit a month after the trial, good for any book regardless of price. Ad-free premium audio you listen to offline. No interruptions, not like you're talking with Molly. Your own amazing library. Keep your books even if you cancel. You bought the shit, it's yours.
A couple of years ago I did Audible, and I still have those books to this day, so yeah.
So who reads the books to you? If it's on
sometimes it is the author. The Tom Bodett books are read by Tom Bodett.
Okay, can you...
sometimes it might, for Lord of the Rings, you can get it read by Ian McKellen.
Can I send out a request to Audible and have Morgan Freeman read books?
I'm sure he reads a bunch. Yeah.
There's a lot of different, voice actors and stuff that do them, and it depends on the book and who they get. Like there's, the Harry Potter books that have a whole cast?
Yep.
There's a couple books that have not just one person reading, they have a whole cast of people reading the voices for the characters.
Audiobooks saved our fucking trip across America when we did a road trip.
I literally did find on YouTube I think it was Samuel L. Jackson reading Go the Fuck to Sleep, which was, I fucking lost it.
Awesome.
But yeah, World War Z is another great audiobook. Each chapter is told by a different character, and they get actual proper actors reading off each chapter. I've
a
listened
great
to
book, by the way,
Hitchhiker's
so
Guide to the Galaxy, and that was read by Stephen Fry and then later Martin Freeman for the later novels.
Okay.
So, yeah, they get real talent.
Excellent. So definitely, you get 30% off in exclusive member-only savings. Easy exchanges. Don't like a book? Swap it out for free anytime. Go to our site and click www.audibletrial.com/unipodcast or go to the unipodcast.com and click on it. So now you can join our mailing list. We're going to put out newsletters, special events.
Yeah. We are Tom and Mark off the rails. Our website is theunipodcast.com. You can talk to us on Facebook at facebook.com/unipodcast or email us at asktomanything414@gmail.com. This podcast is available on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, and all your favorite podcast hosting sites. See our website for more details.
And stay tuned, Universe. We got a bunch of new guests coming up. We keep July 14th open, so you can come visit us and hang out. We got it booked. I put the deposit down, paid for it. Even if nobody shows, I'll be there. Hey, we're doing this for you, Universe. We love you, and remember, we're not good enough.
Peace out.